Welcome back to Good Day. She gets the best assignment.
Always. Our Diane Phillips, she does. So what a better way to spend a Wednesday morning than making and tasting chocolate. So Diane, you're going to taste some nice sweet treats for us this morning.
Yes, good morning. So I have moved behind the counter, and you may notice it's a little bit dark in here. So I'm super happy because I'm pretty sure everybody in Lenawee County was like, ooh, I saw Diane's forecast. It's going to be hot. And everybody, I think, flipped the air conditioning on at the same time because we don't have power. But that is not going to slow us down. I've still been tasting chocolate. I have enough sugar and energy in me. We are going to go ahead with it anyway. So I'm going to bring in Matt and Elizabeth. They are with Harvest Chocolate. And we were talking about how it's a fruit. So a lot of folks might not know that. So we had to explain how chocolate and fruit are in the same family.
Yeah, so chocolate's actually made from a fruit. It's a cocoa bean. We can show you actually if you want to.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Looks like this, and when you crack it open, it's like a tropical fruit that surrounds the cocoa bean, which is what we use to make the chocolate with. Okay,
and it kind of looks like this white kind of inside. I don't really know how to describe it. And you've had it here before in the store because you bring, this in for special events.
Yeah, so we'll bring in cocoa beans that we have to overnight them from Ecuador. And so we'll bring them in for special events when we have a few things going on and have people taste them. And it's super fun. It's very kind of tropical, like a lychee or what else?
Citrusy.
Yeah,
a mix of a lot of just great tropical flavors.
Yes, because chocolate, you were saying, it kind of comes, from like around the world. So you can kind of see this process here. You just recently did it. So kind of walk us through some of these pictures.
Yeah, so if you start all the way from the left here, it starts as a beautiful flower that grows up a tree branch. About 6 months later, the next photo here, it becomes a actual cocoa pod. If you were to crack that cocoa pod open, you can see the fruit inside, that white substance there. So that's surrounding the cocoa beans, which is what we make chocolate from. So all of those cocoa beans are gathered. They're put into wooden boxes and are lined with banana leaves, and they're fermented for about a week or so, depending on where they are. And then those beans are scooped out and laid on drying racks to dry. And throughout each of these steps, we start to gain flavors. The beans change a lot, and we get the beans in its driest state, and then we roast them.
Yeah, so talk about kind of the roasting process because, everybody has their own different chocolate flavors. So talk about, how the roasting process makes it Harvest Chocolate.
Yeah, so a lot of chocolate is just kind of like all tastes the same. It just tastes like chocolate. But where the cocoa beans come from and where they're grown impacts the flavor, a lot like wine. So the bean origin is the first kind of biggest differentiator for flavor. And then roasting, we can bring out either kind of fruity flavors by roasting it less or more chocolatey and fudgy flavors by roasting it more. And then from there, we have to crack the bean and separate the shell from the nib. And then we grind the beans in big stone grinders, and that's where we can further differentiate the flavor, make it a little more acidic or more kind of richer and nuttier. And there's a lot of different ways to adjust the flavor of the cocoa bean to have a different flavor chocolate in the end. And it all is just 2 ingredients, cocoa beans and sugar.
Wow. So is it simple to say, of course, I don't do chocolate, the more sugar you add, the sweeter it gets, the richer it gets. How does that concoction work together?
Yeah, so a lot of times you see percentages on chocolate, and so that's the percentage of chocolate that's in that bar. So the other percent is, so if it's, say, 70%, that's 70% chocolate and 30% sugar. So the lower that number, the sweeter it'll be, and the higher the number, the less sweet it'll be.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Let's also talk about, some of the chocolates that you have here because I've already done a little bit of taste testing. I talked to, the spicy ones, and, you even shared it's kind of, traveling the world through chocolate. So kind of walk us through some of the chocolates that you have and also the seasonal ones.
Exactly. So you see the bags of chocolate, that's our snacking chocolate. Those are our 2-ingredient dark chocolates in little bite size, perfect for snacking on. So each one is made from a different cocoa cocoa beans sourced from around the world, so a lot like wine or coffee, they each have different tasting notes. So it's, we like to say, a really fun way of traveling through chocolate. And then we also have our seasonal bars. We do different varieties of dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate. They're actually all vegan and gluten-free, and they highlight different kind of just notes from the season. So these are some of our summer collection bars. You'll see a lot of fruity, like our strawberry rhubarb white chocolate bar, our blackberry chocolate chunk, that's one of our newest ones that we really love, or just the coffee cold brew. It's kind of a seasonal staple for the summertime. So a little bit of everything, just a fun variety to kind of help celebrate summer.
Yeah, those are fun. And you also have, you talked about how coffee, chocolate, wine, they're all kind of the same. So you do have a coffee and chocolate tasting event coming up.
We do. So we are actually partnering with Musgrove and Company. They have a roastery in Adrian, Michigan, which is not too far from us. And we're doing a chocolate and coffee tasting where you get to try different types of chocolate along with their coffee. We actually source some of our cocoa beans from the same farm. Actually get their coffee beans, so it's really fun to be able to try coffee and chocolate that's grown from the same place. So that's part of that tasting, which is June 24th at 11 a.m. and that's in their Adrian location.
Cool. And then also, remind us, we're in downtown Tecumseh, but remind us, some of your hours and the days that you're open, and then website that we can connect for events or even just coming to visit.
Yeah. So here at the Vault, we're open every day, so Monday through Wednesday, 2 to 8 p.m., Thursday through Sunday, noon to 8 p.m. We also have a website. It's harvestcraftchocolate.com. We ship nationwide, and that's also where you can get tickets to tastings.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. So, Stephen, I'm going to grab a bite of this chocolate here, and I let you know how it tastes. But, of course, make sure you check them out here in downtown Tecumseh. We'll have more coming up because I'm busy eating with my mouth full. Sorry.
There were so many flavors that
Yes.
I was looking at those chocolate bars that I was like, I want to try that one. I want to try that one. The rhubarb one sounded good, and the vanilla sea salt, and the coffee one.
You want
Did I forget
all of them.
All of the chocolate.
I love all the knowledge that they have about
that's really
chocolate.
interesting. I had no idea that chocolate came in that
Fruit-looking
fruit
thing. Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Good Day's back in just a moment. Stay with us.